Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's a NSFW experience you're not very proud of? I was fucking a girl from behind while she was rubbing her clit. I slipped out and the whole of my dick caught on one of her nails and ripped it. Started leaking blood from my dick, went to the ER and had to have a doctor look at my bloody dick, and he basically said, yeah, it's going to suck for a while and you're going to pee blood and it will hurt like hell, but it will heal on its own. Basically paid a doctor to look at my bloody dick and get told, that sucks, good luck. I swear reading that made me feel pain in my dick, although I don't even have one. A drunk girl in college told me I reminded her of her dad, which was a bit of a turn-off. Then a completely separate time she tried to hook up with me. I said, I thought I reminded you of your dad, with the response of, exactly. Yeah, that one I'm not too proud of. Used to hook up with a girl who got off calling me daddy during our normal sexy time. I was cool with it. One night we got extra drunk and as I'm hitting it from the back she says, Dad, please go slower, please love me. I stopped and was like, what? IDK, why I opened this post. Oh man, my ex-fiancé. When we first started dating and interacting she'd call me daddy. That was a first for me, but I went with it, yeah no. New experience, what's the harm? Well, I drive 14 hours to meet this man, and let's say his name is Jeff. Jeff is my intended's dad. Jeff and I got along great, and one afternoon during our stay, I asked Jeff if I could propose to his daughter. He said yes. So, that night we cooked up some porterhouse steaks, bought about as much beer and whiskey thinking there'd be no tomorrow. At one point Jeff goes, who wants another shot? My ex goes, oh please, daddy. I make a Jim Halpert face of like, what the fuck? Needless to say, on the 14-hour ride back home I told her she can't say that in bed anymore. Our engagement didn't last, but we're kicking ass in co-parenting a young woman. Well, she's now married to a dude who happens to be named Jeff. So, that's really fucking weird. Whoa, WTH, loudly crying, loudly crying. The ending got me so bad. In the MSN chat group one woman and I did not get along. At a few meetups we would argue about the dumbest thing. Someone suggested we either fight or fuck, but just shut up. I learned what a hate fuck was, and went back several times, cause man she was a piece of work. And killer in bed. I hate you. DMs are open. I hate you too. DMASL. I partook in water sports with a rich girl because she offered me a $60 red velvet cheesecake milkshake. $60 red velvet cheesecake milkshake. Sounds like a sex act. Her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Truly modern poetry. It really leads to more questions than answers. Hooked up with a girl in high school who barfed on my penis about 5 seconds into giving me head. I earned the nickname, Titanic, as a result because she claimed it was the size that did it, rather than her drunkenness. This is not a humble brag, I am decidedly average. I asked my BF the biggest dick he ever got and he said this, but that she kept going and pretended it didn't happen until he felt and smelled it and was like, yo WTF, stop and go clean yourself up, loudly crying. How do men not know the second it happens can't they feel it? Was mega horny and talking to a girl who was also mega horny. She lived an hour plus away and on a workday I went over for a late night booty call. She got off. I didn't. I got 1 hour of sleep before driving home to get ready for work. 2 weeks later I started developing the first genital warts. Single-handedly destroyed my sex life for years without even having an orgasm. FML. My worst nightmare. My warts nightmare. I was the engineering project manager for the installation of a giant industrial food freezer. We had perishable product that was going to be harvested in few days and there was no plan B if we couldn't process the fresh product. We couldn't fulfill contracts we had with our customers. Failure was not an option. We had a heavy evaporator coil the size of a car to lift up and put in position overhead. We did not have the right equipment and there was none available that could get to the factory in time. So the riggers chained one forklift to the back of another one to act as ballast and got the coil in place in the most sketchy manner imaginable. The pucker factor was over 9,000. That's the only time in my 20-year engineering career when I turned my eye to a safety violation. That was definitely not safe for work. Finally, an actually not safe for work post, thank the gods. Was sexting my high school girlfriend and we started to send pics. I was getting spammed in the boys group chat at the same time. Guess where some of my pics ended up being sent? Shut up, him getting virtual ass gents. Get any dick pics back. I drunkenly sent nudes to my husband when he was gone once. I was also talking to his sister. Guess who got the butthole and vag pic? Which is worse, if she responded embarrassed, or if she said, nice cooter and starfish. I had sex with a girl who was calling me the wrong name, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm Sean tonight. Edit to add extra context and side stories, she knew I wasn't Sean, but I looked enough like him that she didn't care. She claimed to be Ryan Reynolds' cousin, and a few years later she also had sex with my older brother. I also stole a girl from Sean a few years prior. They weren't dating but they were getting close. I literally asked her, "Why are you with him when you could be with me instead?" I was a shitty person as a teenager. Are you sure you weren't Sean? Press X to Sean. The sex was so bad with one woman, I felt the need to go back again to see if it was in fact me. I was at a low point in my self-esteem to begin with, which led to the first encounter. She laid there like a slug. I felt I had done something wrong, but I went back and discovered that it wasn't in fact me, she was just terrible at sex. In Japanese, a girl who lies there like a piece of fish is literally called a maguro, a piece of tuna sashimi. The American, or English-speaking, term is starfish. Was hot and heavy with a lass I met on Tinder. She was on top just going to town. As she's really hitting her stride, her daughter woke up and just burst into the room. There I am, 5.15, into this woman, as she just pauses long enough to yell at her daughter to get out and proceeds to continue as though nothing happened. After, she asked me to stay and watch a Disney movie with her and her daughter. Which movie? No idea. I was mentally checked out and just trying to leave as quickly as possible. Was in a garage band in high school. If you want to get literal, it was a basement band. All of our friends would come over and listen. It was like a concert every weekend. There was this one particular girl who everyone knew was loose. One day the drummer took her to the bathroom to fuck. When he finished she told him to send the next one in, and so on. We all pulled a train on her, some of us twice. She initiated it, she consented to it, no drugs or alcohol was involved. Even though it's what she wanted, I still feel gross thinking about it. Did you all use the same condom? They turned it inside out and shook the fuck out of it first, of course. Only safe way to reuse a condom. EWWWW. Thankfully no. I just threw up in my mouth. What number in line were you? If you ain't first, you're last, has never been more applicable. I think she was just waiting for someone to make her come. She may have been loose but your band was tight. If they didn't rename the band, the Eskimos, they blew it. Sending pictures to a person only for that person to post said pictures in the group chat. Pretty sure that is now a crime here, Australia. In the USA too. With a person on a bench by the river one night. Cops came and broke it up. They should have just shot me. The cops did what and broke it up? Question mark. They all came, the whole department. Was having sex with my GF at the time back when I still lived with my parents. They were of the mindset that as long as I lived with them I did not deserve privacy, so my mom just walked right in. We both just froze and looked at her while she gave the "not in my house" peel, and then told my GF she needed to move her car so my mom could leave the house. She went and moved her car, came back and wanted to finish me, so she was giving me a handy. I finished with some force and it landed right on my own chin. Right at that moment my mom walked right in again, so I pulled a blanket up over my face and proceeded to have a minute-long conversation with my mom with cum on my face. At that point I think your mom was walking in on y'all on purpose. NGL. I'm an American living in Japan, and here we have these very reasonable places called love hotels. You go to one of these hotels, pay $30, and have 2 or 3 hours of privacy. It's very civilized. One horrible drunken night, this girl knew I was bi, I'm a girl for context, and she was curious, so she literally begged me to finger her in the pub toilets. I didn't resist, but she literally grabbed my hand and wouldn't let me pull my finger out. Later that night, I ended up going back with this guy and we fucked all night. I found out the next day that the girl I fingered was in a relationship with the guy the first fucked. They both cheated on each other, unintentionally with me. Achievement unlocked. I believe that's called threesome, the long way around. I was having sex with a girl. I was on top. I was just about to come when she took her finger and jammed it down my throat, causing me to spit up on her chest. And she was into it. Sucks because she was cute and a ballet dancer, but that's for a different time lol. But have never felt so violated. Like ask me first. Edit, addressing a couple PMs. Yes, she was cute. I tend to go for petite and preppy brunettes, no joke, my last 6 exes all look like sisters. But this was just a bit too far for me. Guys, I get it, it's kinky. Kinky can be good, but don't make me throw up without at least saying hey, this is what I'm into. Even then, it wouldn't have been my thing, but communicate. I was fully expecting that finger to go in your butt, happened to me once, and the throat was a twist worthy of M. Night Shyamalan. Ballet dancer and finger down your throat. Someone has sexualized their eating disorder. Losing my V card at 18 to a 34-year-old woman. At the time I thought it was awesome, but the more I think about it the more it weirds me out, even now cause I'm 31 and would never in a million years think about hooking up with her 18-year-old. This happened to me. I, 36F, was 20 and she was my current age. I can't imagine wanting to sleep with or hang out with someone that young. I wasn't underage, but it still is a bummer. Growing up is so funny. Used to think, why aren't any of these 25-year-olds chill or cool? They won't buy my 19-year-old ass alcohol. Then you get to be 25 or whatever and 19-year-olds are basically infants, and the only people buying them alcohol aren't cool, they're lame at best and creepy problematic at worst. I have so many, this is probably the worst. I can still smell it, face vomiting. Back in the day, before dating apps, there was a page called Magenta. It was kind of like MySpace, but you could hit on people and send messages. I was stationed in SD at the time and matched with a woman from National City. I get to her apartment and as soon as I walk in I see baby toys scattered everywhere. The place smelled like spoiled milk, dirty diapers, and a hint of old candy. On top of that, her toddler was in the living room. She was already in lingerie and walks me to the room. She pulls down my pants and of course I'm not feeling it. So, she takes off her clothes and tries to give me a BJ. I couldn't do it. I kept thinking about the poor kid in the other room, wondering where his mom was. Then I start thinking about how easily she's going about this. How many times has she done this before? I tell her I forgot the condoms in the truck and I'll be right back. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. While walking through the parking lot I audibly gagged and had to spit out the little bit of vomit that came up. I can still smell the apt if I concentrate hard enough, loudly crying I hope the kid is okay. That was over 20 years ago now. This was also 20 years ago. Girl comes over to my apt with her toddler. I'm young and horny, now I'm old and horny. Anyway, she ended up giving my a BJ, and mid-BJ her kid comes out like a foot from her face, my dick, and mid-blow either puts her hand on his face, to kinda cover his eyes, and pushes him, softly, away like a go in the other room thing, never stopped what she was doing. About 15 years ago, a girl I was seeing came to spend the night and brought her 2-year-old kid. Like 2 a.m, kid is fast asleep in another room. I'm going down on her on the couch when out of nowhere I hear, "Mumu," like 3 feet away from us. Pretty sure I got rug burn on the back of my head from how fast she pulled the throw blanket over my head. Thankfully the room was dark so I doubt the kid saw anything, I seriously hope, because Jesus.